Plane's a pain, and that's the truth. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, October 14th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. This week we got a launch of a new game. I'm calling it Flesh Shock. No, that's just because I've gotten a little bit of Bioshock vibes from it. But Scorn launched a week early, and is now available to play. I haven't yet picked it up on Game Pass, but I will be able to. It's probably downloading on my Xbox right now. But for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Scorn is the H.R. Geiger inspired Alien. The guy who made the Alien design. Kind of fleshy design of the Alien. The game Scorn is got a 72 Metacritic. From the articles I read, the puzzles were a little bit too easy, and the distance between saves was a little bit too hard. And so that's kind of what I saw. Was there was a mixed bag of puzzles, some of which were really good but don't really fill it out towards the end, and then the game is just really punishing in between save files. So or save locations. So I'm still looking forward to playing it. I'll probably pick it up and make up my own mind about it. But for those of you who are looking for kind of a new shooter, and maybe a little bit of a horror vibes, this might be for you. But if you've got other things to play right now, this might be a pass. 72 is pretty low. And I saw that GameSpot, who's usually very positive, gave it a 4 out of 10. So that was pretty rough saying that. But IGN gave it an 8 because that's what IGN does. Not to throw too much shade on IGN, but I digress. Let me know if you pick up Scorn and what you think of it down below in the comments. There's also a closed beta this weekend for Vermintide with Guns. Warhammer 40k Darktide has a closed beta weekend, which I think I'm able to play. I'll have to double check my email. But yeah, running through from today, the 14th, till Sunday, the 16th. And yeah, very much looking forward to it. I watched a little bit of gameplay. The Psyker looks like the melee build. We got to see the priest. Or no, what was it? I think it was a priest. I got to see a priest last time. Last time I talked about that last week. So still haven't seen the Ogren play. I want to see what it's like playing with the big Ogren character. What that kind of tank is like, because having a melee and a tank felt a little weird, but at least in my mind's eye. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the closed beta. And if you got into it, let me know. We got to see a new Pixar short this week. I don't mean Pixar, I mean Blizzard short. Blizzard is still on par with Pixar when they do their character trailers. And we got to see the one for Kiriko this week. Overwatch 2's latest character, and it was quite heartfelt. It was about a relationship with a daughter and her mother. Mother cares very much for her daughter and wants her to be safe, but Kiriko is this hero character who takes on a gang in the trailer. It's very much worth the 10 minutes to watch it. So and like I said, very Pixar-esque as they've always been. So. Feel free to check that out. All the links down below in the description. NVIDIA announced and unannounced its new graphics card. The NVIDIA RTX 4080s were both announced, the 12 gig and the 16 gig version. From the pictures I saw, the thing is massive, like PS5 massive, maybe like half the size, half the depth of a PS5, and like the same height as a PS5. So the thing was just massively huge. But they are unannouncing the 12 gig one. I think there was a lot of confusion around the specs. I think there was also a price. I think price was definitely an issue, as people thought that $2,000 might be too much for a graphics card. Although that's what I think most top of the line graphics cards launch at. So anyway, NVIDIA announced and unannounced their latest graphics card. So do with that as you will. Mortal Kombat is celebrating 30 years. I'm very happy to hear that. I can remember the first time I was playing Mortal Kombat a friend's PlayStation 1, and everybody getting yelling at me for cheesing. I think I was playing Reptile and like uh, constantly throwing out. I use spitting acid or something. I think that was always my move. Or Sub-Zero is like constantly spamming the ice button, but that's as good as I get with fighting games. But congratulations to Mortal Kombat on its 30th anniversary. Quite an accomplishment in the game sphere to have a IP be so resilient to time. Even when Congress and PTAs everywhere try and cancel it for being too bloody and gory, but I still appreciate decapitating my friends in Mortal Kombat. So I'll be sure to continue to do that for the next 30 years. CDPR earning a little bit of street cred this week, as Stadia going under means that a lot of people's Cyberpunk save files are getting lost to the cloud, and CD Projekt Red is working to try and give people their save files back. They probably still have to buy it on Steam in order to play the game, but their characters and progress won't be lost to the annals of the cloud exploding. So yeah, good job CDPR. Hopefully this earns them back a little bit of a fan base, because they lost it a lot with the launch of Cyberpunk. So hopefully they continue to do good work and make good with their community. But yeah, this is a good start. I would hate for my Cyberpunk save file to have been lost just because the platform in which I was playing it on ceased to exist. So good on them. Watched a pretty cool video essay this week talking about GameSpot's new series Mind Games. They're talking about how horror games might be good for you. I thought that was a really interesting take. I also enjoy anytime we can get the cross section of video games and psychology. I have always appreciated those that intersection. And yeah, it was just the video was talking about from this horror expert talking about how people during like COVID, as an example, people during COVID, if they were horror fans, they were a little bit more well adjusted to just like the stresses or the anxiety, because they experience that with movies, TVs, and games all the time. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. There was also a way to like overcome some fears by learning breathing techniques and using that in your horror gameplay, and like teaching people through horror experiences how to like cope with some of those anxieties. So recreational fear is a good thing. Feel free to check out that video. I'll have a link down below, but definitely worth a watch if you're interested in psychology or enjoy horror games, both of which I thoroughly do. It's not often that Nintendo discounts their first-party titles. It's kind of a laughing, it's kind of a running joke in the games industry that Nintendo just doesn't discount. I mean, good on them. They always get their full price for every unit they sell, but pricing waterfall is a thing. But Nintendo is discounting a bunch of their first-party titles. I saw a bunch of them, rather than being $60, we're down to $40. So I'll have a link where you can pick up Age of Calamity and Super Mario Odyssey, a bunch of the Nintendo first party games. So yeah, I'll have a link down below so you can check that out. Oh yes, the prince that was promised finally has a release date. What I was alluding to in the cold open, Choo Choo Charles is that train sim horror game where you're being chased by a spider train. I believe I've talked about this, but I haven't talked about it in quite a few months, but I'm talking about it again this week because we got a release date. It is coming out December 9th. And boy, am I excited. I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to this game for quite some time. And now we finally have a release date. It looks like I'm going to be playing a lot of horror games throughout the next couple months with Scorn and The Devil and Me, the Dark Picture anthology. Going to play Callisto Protocol as well as Choo Choo Charlie. So yeah, for the next couple months, I'm going to be playing horror games even past Halloween. So it'd be interesting, but very excited for Choo Choo Charles. Also, we got a little bit more of the gameplay outside of the train. There's like cultists that you have to fight, and you're gonna, even when you're not on the train, you're gonna be constantly trying to avoid this spider train coming after you. So all of it was very, very spooky. and something I'm looking forward to playing this December. Last but not least for the week, I believe I've talked about also the Elden Ring board game for quite some time. Steam Forge Games has announced that they will be their official announced date for their Kickstarter will be on 11/22, so November 22nd. They'll be starting off their Kickstarter for the Elden Ring board game. It's gotten quite a lot of excitement, and I can imagine that it's going to break some internal company records. But I have had and have friends who have had bad experiences with Steamforge games and their Kickstarters taking a little bit too long to deliver. But I think hopefully they've fixed some of that. I hear the Horizon game didn't take too long to get into consumers' hands, but I know that the Dark Souls one did and might even still be owed to a couple people. So yeah, very could be a mixed bag, but hopefully they've worked on some of their supply constraints. Although we're still in a COVID lockdown or a COVID supply shortage and distribution crisis as far as getting things, especially from across the pond where most of this stuff is made in China. It will probably take a long time to get on boats and across the Pacific. So, but I am looking forward to the Elden Ring board game. I've had a very strong itch to paint miniatures for a little while now, so I'll probably be backing it so I can paint up some Elden Ring characters. Probably a little bit different than they appear in the video game, but I'll probably post those on Instagram when I paint those up. But yeah, very much looking forward to the Elden Ring board game, and hopefully it plays a little bit better than the Dark Souls board game, because I thought the Dark Souls board game was a little meh, if I'm being honest. But I digress. That's it for this week. If you feel I forgot anything, leave a comment down below. As always, I enjoy talking about video game news, both down in the comments as well as on my Discord, which will be linked down below in the description. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!